Would you like to live forever? I know, crazy question, right? But this is a question that is actually being seriously considered in a topic that's innovating biotechnology, transhumanism. Transhumanism is a campaign proving that the human body can evolve beyond its current physical or mental limitations. Let me give you some examples.
Pause there.
I recently learned Russian in a few short months last summer. Довольно классно, не правда ли? Means pretty cool, right? But I could have learned Russian faster had I used a brain-computer interface, similar to the one used in The Matrix. I could have learned anything a lot faster in only a few seconds with this interface, which I'm sure most 15-year-olds my age would love, since our attention span is around maybe 20 minutes. Am I talking to you? Okay. Next, we have one of Japan's most popular animes, Kido Senshi Gandamu, Mobile Suit Gundam. This is a perfect example of transhumanistic technology. It's a little bit violent, but I want to get back to that. But Gundams are mainly used for violent use in the anime, but this is an endoskeleton or a Power Jacket MK3, built by Saga Electronics in Japan. This is basically a reincarnation of a Gundam, but instead of it being a violent machine that uses nuclear power, it helps patients recover from injuries or who can't support their own muscle mass. Pretty cool, right? That's in English, not in Russian. Okay. Aren't these perfect examples of how we can teach youth science and technology from a really cool perspective? The idea is to basically take technology from science fiction shows and teach technology to young students through sci-fi shows, movies, cartoons, and more. And wouldn't that be a great way to teach young students such as myself, but not only the next generation, about science and technology? Students my age are doing terribly in national assessments around the world, and it's easy to see that the topic of science isn't taught properly in public schools here in general. So what can we do to improve interest in students and basically everyone in this country? Especially this is for 15-year-olds, and I'm obviously a lot better at science because I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. So yeah. These are basically examples of The Matrix, Gundam, Star Trek, RoboCop. These are all really, really great examples of how we can teach you science and technology. First, we have Matrix, and they talk about AI, or artificial intelligence. Basically, it's when computers can think on their own, which is actually shown with Intel's Watson. It's an AI program that recently beat the world's best Jeopardy players in 2011. Next, we have Gundam. I mentioned this earlier, but I want to make a point on this connection to real technology. A next main purpose I mentioned as a more violent use. So if we want to teach or make these robotics a mainstream invention, they must be led by the right people. Ethics are a huge factor and must be mentioned when promoting this topic. Next, we have Star Trek, or my personal favorite, The Next Generation. I love that show. Yeah. So we have Geordi LaForge. He uses a retinal implant or a heat-sinking visor, and these are now becoming a mainstream invention now, some even based on the heat-sinking visor. And then we have Data. Yay. He's a humanoid robot, and this soft-speaking android has sparked many robotic engineers into creating almost eerie, life-looking androids that walk and communicate. That's a Japanese reincarnation of the same girl sitting next to her. And then we have RoboCop. Yes, the new one and the old one that my parents used to watch. I know my mom's back there somewhere. Hi, Mom. These are perfect examples. A mortally wounded officer is saved by enhanced biotechnology and faces being rejected by society while also fighting from being hacked into by other scientists. And here we see a prosthetic built by Johns Hopkins, which is one of the best prosthetics ever. Bionic-con is a campaign and a potential convention that I have started where companies that work with these technologies, as well as film producers of these movies and sci-fi shows and movies, can come together and teach youth and the next generation about science and technology. Right now, I'm planning a speech at my local high school, but Bionic-con is geared towards a potentially much larger event. The idea is to combine a lecture like this one with a Comic-Con style atmosphere. I love Comic-Con. And yeah, so I'm teaching you my passion, so yeah.